Namaste everyone. In today's podcast, we are going to discuss a new taxation system. We know the middle class is heavily burdened by the current taxation system and desperately needs a reprieve. We also need to analyze whether the current taxation system fits the demands of the current generation and it is up to date, fair, and proportionate. In today's deep dive, we are going to discuss a special chapter from the real constitution of Bharat. This chapter is about taxation. It also discusses the digital transactions tax, introduction of limited validity currency, taxing the luxury goods at source, before concluding and making suggestions about a new taxation policy. The word taxation originates from the Latin word taxanem, which means a rating, a valuing, or an appraisal. This comes from the word taxare, meaning to evaluate, estimate, assess, handle, and also to censure or a charge. Over a period of time, the meaning of taxation has broadened to encompass the imposition of taxes by the government or authority, and it feels like a burden. However, in Sanskrit, the word kar means hand. That means lending a hand towards maintaining a nation. The taxation is simple. Everyone contributes towards running of the nation. While the nation can monetize its natural resources, the monetizing of natural resources was not so much possible in the olden times due to management and limited availability of labor. Due to these factors, the kings or the rulers, they collected a contribution from farmers, say 1/4, 1/5 of the produce, and also from the traders, shopkeepers, etc. At that point of time, the barter system ruled. There was a limited currency in form of gold and silver coins, and it was valued against their weight. So during the barter system, the collection became mandatory from the people. However, the current taxation system, as we see it is only a digital replication of the old system. In the olden times, there was goods against goods. So there was a barter system. The equation was goods equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, goods only. Now the equation is different. Now we are trading with currency or the money. The paper currency printed on a bond paper or secure paper, and it is a note given by the governor of the Reserve Bank of India, and it has replaced the gold or silver coins. It makes moving the money more efficient, transactions much better. However, this currency is printed and controlled by the government. The value of this currency is dynamic, it is fluid, it is not backed by gold or any other commodity. So the value is against, as it compares against the market pricing based on demand and supply. By controlling the currency, the government can eliminate the need for collection of taxes, because the currency has become a standard, and the value of the goods is compared against the value of currency. However, the government's control on the currency needs to be fair, and taxes can be seen as the facilitation and usage charges of this currency. Therefore, the usage charges will be proportionately distributed based on the volume of transactions or the way we use the money. If we use the money less, there will be less taxes, and if we use the money more, there will be more taxes. So, to collect the taxes, what we can introduce is digital transaction tax and currency usage tax, etc. Then we can also have luxury goods tax for the special substances like liquor, expensive items, and tobacco, etc., etc. We can also have special provisions for farm produce to help the farmers. Let's dive into the case study now. This is last year's data and the value is in crores. Last year we collected taxes, income taxes, corporate taxes, GST, other taxes, minor taxes of the tune of 16.44 lakh crore rupees. And we also incurred some expenditure on collection of taxes, which is 8364 crore rupees. However, say this is the total income the government has generated. Let's propose a taxation system based on a new model. We had total digital transactions of 3658 lakh crore rupees. And we have currency in circulation, which is 30.53 lakh crore rupees. So these two are the currencies which are in circulation: paper currency and digital currency. Now we can monetize use of digital currency by digital transaction tax. If we propose a tax of 0.5% on every transaction, so the income of the government is going to be 18.2 lakh crore rupees. Whereas if we impose a tax on the paper currency, which is 30% for 10 years, that means there will be a 3% tax every year on the average. So it will become 1.0659 lakh crore rupees. And the total income of the government, if we had implemented the new taxation system, last year government would have had an income of 19.3559 lakh crore rupees. So if we round off the income tax, total income tax and total taxes of the government, 19.35 lakh crore rupees as compared to 16.44. Now we see we are 3 lakh crore rupees extra. So this system is robust, this system can be replicated, this is also proportionate. The people who use money more, they will pay for it more. The people who use money less, they will pay for it less. Changing the paper currency every 10 years is a novel concept, and it will make sure that the currency in circulation gets changed every 10 years. By doing so, all the money which is stashed in the mattresses or in the warehouses, that would require to be changed, and the money which has been hoarded as a black money, etc., will get taxed through the system. So it will completely eliminate the black money. However, the corruption money can still be there, and to track that corruption money, we need to install electronic chips in the money. The current security paper can be discarded because now plastic or nylon or rayon money can be printed with the digital electronic chips which are encrypted. And RFID can also be installed to track the currency holders. Luxury goods can be taxed at the manufacturing itself. So if a liquor manufacturer wants to produce 1 lakh bottles of liquor, for that there will be a resident inspector or a system in which he pays the taxes first and then produces the produce, and then it can be sold in the market. The farm produce can be bought against cash to give reprieve to the farmers and give them cash, and therefore if the cash is given to farmers, there will be no taxation. The advantages of this system is there will be no need to evade the taxes. Tax evasions will stop. There will be no collection effort required by the government. There will be no complicated tax returns, and compliances have to be done by the individuals as well as businesses. There will be no black money because even the cash will be taxed, and it will reduce corruption definitely. However, to further eliminate corruption, we will also be required to take additional steps. The implementation of this system is easier than implementing the GST system. It doesn't require very big algorithms, different portals, compliances, etc. And it already the digital transactions are monitored by the government. It can be taxed. Only the instructions need to be given to the banks. This taxation system can be simulated on a digital model and can be seen what is the differences and who is going to be taxed more now, who is going to be taxed less, etc. A pilot project can be run in a state or a UT or a area, say Andaman or Nicobar or some other UT, but it needs national will. Do we as a nation want to eliminate corruption? Because if we remove the paper currency and tax the paper currency at source, we will eliminate black money definitely, and corruption to a large extent if we introduce the smart money. So it will require the national will, whether political parties want to implement this kind of system or not. So during our discussion, we also saw how the olden system required collection from the source. However, in the new system, we have money which is controlled by the government, we have goods which are produced by the people, and market forces decide what is the relationship between the money and the goods. So the government not necessarily needs to collect any goods or the money in lieu of goods. It can only manipulate and control the money. For the national income, there are natural resources, national resources with the government. Government can monetize that. Government can also monetize the transactions as well as currency uses. So if we do that and install additional taxes on the luxury goods and have different schemes, it can be incorporated within the system. What are your thoughts about such a system? Because the old system has transformed into new by introduction of money and digital transactions, but we are still following the older system of collections. The system design has changed, and by following the new system design, we can replace the taxation system. Think about it and let me know in the comment section, and stay tuned for more.